Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Where is he?
So I was gonna start out with the Darth Maul as Kenobi.
Yes, Kenobi.
But man, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan.
Man.
Well, I got emotional
Oh man.
when I watched this teaser.
I had
Emotional.
all the goosebumps, all the emotion. I mean, John Williams hits us with the Duel of the Fates. Oh
like
man.
maybe one of the best scenes in any Star Wars movie, maybe the best score. I think it defines the, as Filoni talks about in the Mandalorian Gallery, legacy thing. He talks about that really Anakin's journey and everything that comes out of that, which is Star Wars. His rise, fall, and redemption is all about that moment in Duel of the Fates where Qui-Gon is fighting for him. Yeah. And now it's Obi-Wan's fight.
And they come right out in this trailer and say, we've failed.
Yeah, the fight is over. We lost.
Yeah,
that's where that's the Obi-Wan Kenobi we get. I've got to imagine that this is a good chunk of time before the Rebels show, which is where a lot of these villains and side characters I think are going to come from.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we see in the scene, and I have a slide that I'll pull up a little bit later. We get a shot of Luke, a young Luke. Who's probably going to be like in the 5 to 8 range.
Yeah, young. So at least 10 years before A New Hope.
And based on where we get a young Leia in Rebels, she's probably like 12, 13.
Because Rebels is like, I want to say the time frame of the Rebels show, I want to say is about 3 to 5 years before A New Hope, because it kind of ends with Rogue One, right? Like it's sort of the main run of Rebels sort of is meant to tie up right before Rogue One happens.
Because Hera goes off and then fights with the new rebellion on Scarif.
Again, lots of spoilers for everything. We assume you've seen Rebels.
I'm just guessing at this point that if you're watching this, you're a Star Wars fan.
If you're one of the 4 people watching this, you know us, and you would know that,
So, I mean, it's definitely in the place, it definitely occurs after Episode 3. I can pretty solidly say it happens there.
Yes, we know that for sure.
And it definitely happens before Rebels. So we got a good probably 5-7 year time.
Yeah, if they do what they did Mandalorian after Return of the Jedi, 7 years. If we do like just short of a decade after Episode 3, that fits perfect.
Yeah, I had a friend online the other day post right before the trailer hit. He's like, all I want from Obi-Wan Kenobi is for the live action duel of Kenobi and Maul at the end of Rebels. And I'm like, no, I don't want a
redo.
I don't want a live action redo. I don't like.
Tell me more.
I don't like when Disney does that. Give me a new story. Because I'm already pretty sure that Disney's going to give us another view of Order 66.
Yeah.
Because that seems like they're enjoying traumatizing us.
Well, Order 66, I mean, really the Inquisition, the Star Wars, that's why I think the closer that they do...
That's big.
No one expects the Jedi Inquisition. But no, I think
Inquisition.
I think Order 66, I would like this to be, it's got to be some amount of time, because obviously Ewan McGregor is older than he was at the end of Revenge of the Sith.
Of Ewan McGregor as an older, wiser... more scruffy.
So I think I'd be fine with like 5 to 7 years, because the Inquisitors really are there to clean up with they've moved on from the clones. We got that in the Bad Batch. They've moved. We're in heavy stormtrooper territory at this point.
Right.
So I don't think they're calling it Order 66, and I think that's a great place to explain why the Emperor would have all these people other than Vader.
Right.
That are out looking and really setting up what Filoni and Lucas did in in Rebels. And setting up that there are Inquisitors.
Yeah, and I really like. I had a real love-hate relationship with Rebels when it started. I wasn't really a big fan of the animation, and I learned to love it. I wasn't really a big fan of the characters. I learned to love them as it went on, because Dave Filoni is amazing. I didn't like the idea of the Inquisitors, because even though coming from the role-playing games, where there were dark acolytes and things like that.
Right.
I wanted Vader to be something special, and he still is, because just like in the video game The Apprentice, you get all these offshoots of these dark Sith.
Right.
Maul was it comes down to who's a Sith and who's just a dark side Force user and who's
Well,
a
and
Fallen.
I was. This actually brings us a perfect. I'm glad you brought up Fallen Order. So how long after I was going to ask you, because you played the game, unfortunately, I didn't have a console to play Fallen Order. That's the Cal Kestis Jedi game, played by the actor who I think is now, he's going to be Adam Warlock. He was the Joker in
No, he's not Adam Warlock.
Gotham. No, that's a
it's
different
guy.
kid, different guy. But anyway, the Cal Kestis actor, live action actor, is that only a couple years after? Like, how long is he in hiding on that planet?
That's funny. I just did a replay on some of that the other day, and I can't remember. They give a time frame, and I'm sure it's.
Could we see Cal Kestis?
I was
in
wondering
Obi-Wan
about that
Kenobi?
because Cal Kestis very definitely
We're calling it right here in Applesauce
fights,
and Baloney.
He fights the Inquisitors. He fights the second sister.
Mm-hmm.
He fights the ninth sister, I think, and we get the Inquisitor. We're getting the Grand Inquisitor
because he is not that much older.
I think he's the fifth Inquisitor. I don't know
fifth,
his name.
Yeah, the fifth
And
brother.
then we have a new Inquisitor over here, played by Is Moses.
Right. So are we going to get, like, could we get, like, because the Cal Kestis, in the parts of the video game you've shown me, he's a little bit younger when he's a Padawan in his flashbacks to Order 66, but not a lot younger.
Right.
So,
well,
I mean, say he's like 14, maybe then 18 when we're seeing him in the actual game.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably a fair assessment.
So 4 or 5 years.
So we're probably 4 or 5, like, I wouldn't, it's definitely not more than 10.
Right.
Because that starts leading us into different.
Well, and let's bring up Luke. Let's bring up Luke there.
Let's talk about our Inquisitors real quick.
Right.
We got Rupert Friend playing Grand Inquisitor. Sung Kang is, again, like I said, I think he's the fifth brother. And then Is Moses is playing. This is probably not her outfit because this is the ninth Inquisitor.
So you think this is an interim villain and the ninth sister?
I think she could be an interim Inquisitor.
Well, do we ever see the ninth sister, who, by the way, is voiced by Sarah Michelle Gellar?
Yes. Just in Rebels and just in Fallen Order. Okay,
so it could. I mean, because I'm gonna say, you'd think they would bring in Sarah Michelle Gellar,
right?
I mean, she could play herself, like, for sure.
Well, I mean. So
we just don't think that
we're getting some funny casting stuff because and you and I, when we talk about casting things with people from the animated series, you and I are both on the idea that the guy that's going to play Thrawn is the guy that voiced him.
Yeah, one of the Skarsgårds.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
but
one of the Skarsgårds. The Skarsgård clan.
So I was just assuming that. And again, I apologize. I'm having a bad memory day. The guy that does the Grand Inquisitor would be playing the Grand Inquisitor because it's the guy that played the Dark Wizard in Harry Potter. The blonde Dark Wizard.
Malfoy's dad. Malfoy's dad. Yeah, I can't remember. Sorry, guy.
Ian Isaacs.
Ian Holm.
Isaacs.
Ian Isaacs. Yeah. I don't know. That's what we're going with.
Yeah.
Thor will fix it in the bottom left.
Yeah, I'll drop it right about here. I assumed that they'd get him to do it because he's an amazing actor. But we get Rupert Friend, who, again, this isn't the picture that we're gonna see him. He looks like this. People are kind of freaking out a little bit about this.
Well, they gotta have something to freak out
about. But they freaked out just as much over Cad Bane. So we have to separate what we're getting in the stylized.
It's not going to look like
shows.
It's not going to look like the animated.
Yeah, because that guy's face, you're never gonna get this guy's face to look like that unless he's animated.
Yeah. Well, same thing with Cad Bane, and you had a completely alien mask that you could do, and the hat wasn't big enough for you even.
I know.
So shush.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
show me my Luke shot.
Yeah. So we get Luke Skywalker.
Obviously,
pod racing in his dreams or flying Beggar's Canyon in his dreams.
That kid can't be older than 10.
No.
But he does have Luke's goggles, which we see him. We see him wear in a couple of scenes in Episode 4. So yeah, there's a lot of ground they can cover. It looks like, and I think we talked about this in a previous episode, it looks like we're going to get Obi-Wan Kenobi off Tatooine,
Yes.
which I think is necessary because we definitely talked about with Boba Fett that we had
he's
some Tatooine fatigue.
We see him on some sort of train people transport.
Yeah.
It looks like, if not Coruscant, it looks like we're going to get some sort of cool Blade Runner-esque stylized city.
We're
We're going to see the Inquisitor's temple out in the ocean. That's cool.
Yeah. Maybe in the ruins of Camino.
Yeah.
Like, who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for, and my prediction is, I think we were talking about this with some friends the other day. I expect an episode or two maybe, or do it in flashbacks where we see Obi-Wan. I'd rather stay away from even flashbacks to Tatooine. But we start with Obi-Wan Kenobi on Tatooine, and then him having to work with Bail Organa, Jimmy Smits, or some kind of like the beginnings of rebellion, or trying to help fairy Jedi children, and
or maybe
like,
that's how the show ends up. Maybe we
get a little cameo of Grogu, a younger Grogu being ferried by Obi-Wan. Off to some planet to be hidden, and that's what gets Obi-Wan off of Luke duty and out into the galaxy at large. Because I just, even Obi-Wan is not. It's not Star Wars if we're just on one planet the whole time.
It kind of looks like, because obviously we see the Inquisitor threatening Uncle Owen. Because we're getting Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru.
Which, how great would it be to have an Uncle Owen Obi-Wan team up to really explain that animosity? Like, that old wizard, I don't think he exists anymore. Like, what if they had beef?
Yeah.
Like, what if the law? What if
they very definitely and
I'd love that.
And it's gonna come down to the fact that Obi-Wan being there is dangerous because the Inquisitors are causing problems. So him just being around is a problem for Owen.
And it'll make it so much deeper too when Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru get killed. If we get to some time with them. Through this show to get to see, like,
instead of just that's sad. Luke's family died.
Well,
back into something that really has
and explain why Owen is so overprotective of him. And that Owen has already fought a bunch of battles to keep Luke safe, and he knows how dangerous it is, and that's why he doesn't want Luke to go off to the academy. It's not just he's some podunk moisture farmer out in the middle of nowhere doesn't get it. Like that scene with Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru going
because
is more than just the one time they met Anakin where he's like, oh, he's got too much of his father in him. That's what worries me.
It comes down to more of that protective of, like, you can't go out in the world because someone will find you. You can't go out in the world because it's dangerous for you to be out there.
Yes.
I'm protecting you by keeping you in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere on the planet that is farthest from the center of the universe.
Agree.
But
really
it seems
cool.
like Obi-Wan's going to have to leave to go maybe track down these Inquisitors, or maybe Owen gets kidnapped and he has to go save.
Or Owen is like some kind of town leader, like around there. Like it's, I don't know, really cool stuff that digs really into, like, deep down into the sands, the sandbox.
Are we going to get a Black Chrysanthemum?
I guess, Wookiees last forever. He could be around.
In the comics, he shows up to shake Owen down about Obi-Wan.
About where Obi-Wan might be, like he's hired. Yeah, maybe.
So I mean that'd be a
Wookiees.
cool...
Wookiees live. I mean, Chewbacca's looked the same over three different eras.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be a very interesting Mandalorian tie-in.
Well, yeah, Chewbacca looks pretty much the same in the prequels when we see him briefly in Episode 3, all through Episode 4, 5, and 6, and then in 7, 8, and 9. So why can't Chrysanthemum could cover 30 years?
7, 8, and 9, he put some colored contacts in or something.
Right. Well, that's a whole new actor.
Yeah.
But anyway, love the Obi-Wan thing. May 25th cannot come soon enough.
So we've been meaning to do a breakdown of the Doctor Strange trailer, because Doctor Strange is what I've been waiting for up to this point.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Doctor Strange.
We missed our window. We had a week where we could have talked about you.
But there's nothing I'm more excited for now than this. Like nothing else in the world. And yeah, I'm a Star Wars nerd, so that's my problem. There is nothing more important in this world than May 25th getting here, so I can start
watching Obi-Wan Kenobi,
binging Obi-Wan Kenobi, and being pissed off that I have to watch it a week at a time. And it's a limited series, so we're only going to get the however many
6 or 8 episodes if we're lucky. Yeah, if we're lucky.
But
we'll take whatever we can get. We've been waiting almost as long for Ewan McGregor to return as Obi-Wan as we did between 4, 5, and 6, and 1, 2, and 3.
So
We've waited almost 20 years.
The funny thing is, I think they said at the beginning of production of this, Ewan McGregor was the age Alec Guinness was when he played Obi-Wan.
Yep.
So I love seeing the goofy memes online where it shows Owen, Beru, and Obi-Wan with Ewan McGregor and the young actors, and then the old actors, and going 10 years on Tatooine. You know, it
ages you.
Yeah.
Ages you.
But I mean, we could talk about this trailer for hours. I don't want to go in detail by detail. Other sites have done detail by detail. Go watch it. I watched it 3 times in a row. I texted everyone I knew about it the minute I saw it dropped. I'm like,
You've only seen it 3 times?
In a row. I mean,
in a row.
I mean, I've watched it multiple, but 3 times in a row, and then I had.
All right. Well, what are we? Yeah, I don't know if we'll jinx it if we talk about what we're going to talk about next.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, there's plenty of stuff coming up. I mean, we got Doctor Strange coming up. We got Moon Knight at the end of the month.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's
got to start talking about Moon Knight.
Yeah.
Talking about Star Wars, I guess. Oscar Isaac. Yeah, we'll take it.
So plenty more to come. Hang in, hang out, and
like and
subscribe. Share, subscribe. Help us get to 100.
These guys.
You know. And,
2022. We've been doing this almost a year, right?
Over a year now. Yeah.
Over a year?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. This is like, yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
All right.
So hey, man. That's it for today.
We'll see you next time.